Morning all. All right, so we're back to the busyness. And I want to say at the start too, last night I did a news video and I stated in it that July 2nd would be the Winter Classic. No idea I said it. Till after the video posted. All right, so tonight we've got another busy night. It starts busy. So there's 6 games right off the hop. An hour later we get 2 more. Then half an hour later we get the next one. 2 hours later, or an hour later, or half an hour after that we get 2 more. And then there's one late game, so this better be a very entertaining game because it's going to have my undivided attention at parts. So starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Ottawa Senators and Boston Bruins meet for the 4th and final time. Boston's won all 3, so they're trying to sweep the season series. November 9th, Boston wins 3-2. February 12th, Boston wins 2-0. February 19th, a 3-2 overtime win for Boston. Now, I've got the trap magnet up there because Boston's got some major injuries they're dealing with, and Ottawa's the kind of team that I could see being overlooked, and at the same time for Boston, they really shouldn't be overlooking anybody, but we'll see. Ottawa's 27-40-6 overall, last 10 games, though. They're 5-4-1. They won their last game, and they're keeping things competitive, right? So they're staying competitive here. Away from home, they're 14-19-3. Josh Norris is having a fantastic season. He hasn't played every game, but he's got 32 goals to go with 17 assists for 49 points. So, excellent goal-scoring instincts being shown by Josh Norris, as they had hoped when they acquired him in a trade with San Jose. On the Boston side, 45-23-5 is their record, last 10 games. They're 6-4, but they've lost 2 in a row in regulation. At home, they're 22-12-2, and Charlie Coyle's been a good story for them. And if they're going to get over the hump and maybe finish in the top 3, and that's a maybe, the 16 goals, 23 assists, 41 points he has, he'll have to add to that total and likely be pretty prominent, relatively prominent. Again, having 3 scoring lines going into the playoffs is key for the Bruins. And right now, without Pastrnak, they look like a team that has 1.5 scoring lines. They need to figure out a way to overcome that loss. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the St. Louis Blues and against the Buffalo Sabres. I also have a trap magnet here for this one, and I'll explain why. February 25th, St. Louis wins 5-3 over Buffalo. St. Louis is 43-20-10. Their last 10 games are 8-1-1. They've won 6 in a row. I could see them having a game against Buffalo, which would allow Buffalo to get the victory. And I say this because Buffalo has been able to get victories against pretty darn good teams over the last couple of months. Away from home, St. Louis is 18-11-6. Justin Falk, 13 goals, 27 assists, 40 points. Has been remarkable lately. On the Buffalo side, 27-37-11 is the record. 4-4-2 over their last 10. They did win their last game, and at home they're 14-17-6. Alex Tuch has been a revelation since joining the team in 43 games. He has 10 goals, 25 assists for 35 points. So scoring that many points in that few games for Alex Tuch shows that he's fit in very, very well, and he has been a driver of the offense too, which has been nice to see. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Washington Capitals in against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto won the first meeting between these two, 5-3 on February 28th. The third and final meeting between these teams will be on April 24th, so we'll see what happens tonight. On the Washington side, they're 41-22-10. Last 10 games, they're 6-4, but they've won 4 in a row, so they're trying to make it 5 in Toronto. Away from home, they're 22-7-5. Tom Wilson, 23 goals, 28 assists, 51 points. And I know there were some raised eyebrows when he was named to the All-Star game when Ovechkin couldn't go. But I think Wilson's really committed to his own this year. Penalty minutes are down. Points are really good. He's set a career high in goals. I think he's really arrived as a really decent power forward in the NHL. Toronto, 47-20-6. Last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. They lost their last game, of course, against Buffalo at home. They're 26-8-4. Mitch Marner, 31 goals, 59 assists for 90 points. We talk a lot about Matthews. Marner should get some attention. I would think that once should he reach the 100-point mark, there'll be more discussion on Marner than what we've seen currently. But yeah, 90 points for him. Not too shabby. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Anaheim and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, low-hanging fruit, right? But Anaheim won 5-1 when they met Tampa Bay on January 21st. That was a different roster than what Tampa's going to see tonight. On the Anaheim side, they're 29-33-13 overall. Last 10 games, they're 2-6-2. They lost their last game in extra time. Away from home, they're 13, 16, and 8. Trevor Zegras continues to put up remarkable numbers. 20 goals, 35 assists, 55 points. Kid's a star. On the Tampa side, they're 44, 21, and 8. Last 10 games, they're 5, 3, and 2. They did lose their last game. And at home, they're 22, 7, and 6. Steven Stamkos, another player that I don't think gets talked about a lot. 32 goals, 48 assists for 80 points. That's pretty good, I guess. Yes, Stamkos has been pretty darn solid for them this year. Also at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the New York Islanders and Pittsburgh Penguins. So these teams have split the season series. Tonight they finish it. Pittsburgh won on November 26th, 1-0, and a couple of days back, the Islanders win 5-4 in a shootout. The Islanders are 34, 29, and 9 overall. Last 10 games, they're 6-4. They did win their last game over Pittsburgh. 15, 16, and 5 away from home. Nelson's having another really good goal-scoring season. 33 goals, 19 assists for 52 points. On the Pittsburgh side, 42, 22, and 11 is their record. Last 10 games are 3, 6, and 1. Ouch. And that last game was the shootout loss against the Islanders. At home, they're 20, 12, and 5. Sidney Crosby starting to raise some eyebrows with the points he's put up this year in 62 games. 28 goals, 49 assists, 77 points. So ho-hum, just on a 100-point pace, no big deal at age 34. We talk a lot about Ovechkin not aging. Crosby has some of that same mojo. The problem being he does get injured seemingly regularly, so there's that. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Detroit and Carolina. These teams split the season series so far as well. Carolina wins 5-3 on December 16th. On March 1st, Detroit wins in overtime 4-3. For Detroit, they're 28, 35, and 10. Last 10 games, they're 2, 5, and 3. They lost their last game. Away from home, they're 10, 21, and 3. Sam Gagner has had a decent year for them. 12 goals, 16 assists, 28 points. He's not going to get a lot of headlines. I just want to acknowledge him here as having a pretty good year. On the Carolina side, 48, 18, and 8. Last 10 games, they're 6, 3, and 1. They've won 2 in a row. At home, they're 27, 7, and 4. Seth Jarvis, in a year where we're seeing a lot of really good rookie players, Seth Jarvis has kind of flown under the radar. 14 goals, 19 assists for 33 points. And he's been impressive, and he's heating up right now, so we'll see if he gets on the board tonight. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start time between the Oilers and the Nashville Predators. Edmonton's won both, which is good, because coming off that loss against Minnesota, as rough as that was, they need to have a bounce back. The problem is Nashville at home, they're pretty good. So Edmonton wins on November 5th, November 3rd, 5-2, and on January 27th, 3-2 in a shootout. The Oilers are 42, 26, and 6. Last 10 games are 7, 2, and 1. They did lose that game against Minnesota, being that most recent loss. 19, 14, and 5 away from home. Evan Bouchard's had a remarkable year. 10 goals, 28 assists, 38 points. And so I think this is the start of him being a guy you can count on for probably about 50 points a year starting next year. On the Nashville side, 42, 26, and 5 is the record. Last 10 games are 5, 4, and 1. They won their last game. They're not that far above the playoff line, so look for an inspired effort from them. At home, they're 23, 12, and 0, and Duchesne has been remarkable. Career year for him. 38 goals, 37 assists, 75 points. So we'll see if he reaches 40 tonight. And if he does, it's going to make the odds of the Edmonton Oilers winning that much more difficult. Because if Duchesne scores 2, Nashville's pretty good. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, the Minnesota Wild in against Dallas. This being the game that my wife and I are looking forward to. My wife being a Minnesota fan, me being a Dallas fan. It doesn't cause any problems. The No Mercy magnet is there because on November 18th, Minnesota beats Dallas 7-2. Dallas has won the other 2 matchups since then, 7-4 on December 20th, 6-3 on March 6th. And these teams definitely usually go for the over. 9 goals, 11 goals, 9 goals. Yeah, tonight will probably end up being a defensive matchup now that I've said it, but we shall see. On the Minnesota side, they're 45, 21, and 6. Last 10 games, they're 7, 1, and 2. They've won 2 in a row. Away from home, they're 19, 14, and 4. Matt Boldy, another one of those players that in this remarkable rookie year doesn't get talked about as much. But in 37 games, he has 13 goals, 17 assists, 30 points. He's been fantastic. On the Dallas side, 42, 27, and 4 is their record. Last 10 games, they're 6, 3, and 1. 2 wins in a row for them. And at home, they're 23, 10, and 2. The offense seems to revolve around Pavelski. The goal scoring, I would go with Robertson, though. 34 goals, 34 assists for 66 points. He is a remarkable young player who I think is going to lead Dallas for years to come. So when Ben and Sagan have both moved on, whether through retirement or trade or whatever ends up happening, Robertson's likely to be the key guy they're building around from then on. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific start time between San Jose and the Chicago Blackhawks. San Jose won the first meeting on November 28th, 2-0. The third meeting between these teams will be on April 23rd. So for San Jose, they're 29, 33, and 10 overall. Last 10 games are 2-6 and 2. They lost in extra time their last time out. They're 13, 17, and 5 away from home. And Brent Burns, decent year for him, 9 goals, 38 assists for 47 points. So Burns not getting a lot of attention because we're seeing ridiculous numbers from guys like Yossi, Makar, and the others, but Burns has had a decent year himself. On the Chicago side, 24, 38, and 11 is the overall record. Last 10 games are 2-6 and 2. They've lost 3 in a row in regulation. At home, they're 11, 20, and 6. That's not great. It's not going to make the fans happy, which we've seen that with Chicago this year. Fans not all that happy. Taves, 11 goals, 20 assists for 31 points. So those aren't Taves-like numbers, but again, he's coming off of missing an entire year. I don't think he is fully 100%, but we'll find out probably when this season's done. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start time between New Jersey and the Colorado Avalanche. New Jersey actually wins this first meeting 5-3 on March 8th. So Colorado has already lost to New Jersey. I don't think they do it again. New Jersey's 26, 41, and 6. Last 10 games are 3-6 and 1. They have won 2 in a row. So New Jersey's at least, racking up a few wins here and there. I can hear Devils fans grumbling about their lottery odds and what that might do to them. Away from home, they're 10, 24, and 2. Mercer's been great. Again, the rookie class this year is remarkable. 16 goals, 25 assists, 41 points. Mercer's two-way game is very good. On the Colorado side, they're 53, 14, and 6. Last 10 games are 8, 1, and 1. They've won 7 in a row. At home, they're 29, 4, and 3. Bowen Byram had a couple of helpers last night. In 22 games now, he has 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points. Here's to hoping for Byram to have continued good health. Of course, last night, too, he got rattled into the boards. It was a clean hit, but you could see how quickly his teammates came over to let the opposition know, hey, we're not putting up with that. So we'll see how far that goes. And again, hoping for the best when it comes to the health of Bowen Byram. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start time between Vegas and Calgary. This might be game of the night material. Vegas has split the season series with Calgary, but Vegas won at home 3-2 on December 5th. And in Calgary, the Flames won 6-0 on February 9th. Thus the no mercy magnet. Vegas has to win this tonight. Because here's the thing. Dallas at home against Minnesota. That's one that Dallas, you've got to think, should be able to at least get a point out of, right? Should be, maybe they lose in overtime, that kind of thing. This should be close. Vegas needs to win because they're 3 points behind Dallas. Dallas has the game in hand. They cannot afford to lose. And of course, they have games in hand on LA. I explained that yesterday in a news video. We'll see how things go. Vegas is 40, 29, and 5. Last 10 games, they're 6-3 and 1. Their last game was a loss in overtime against Vancouver. Away from home, they're 19, 15, and 2. Jack Eichel. Still waiting on him to hit that next level. 26 games, 11 goals, 9 assists, 20 points. Those are not Eichel-like numbers. On the Calgary side, they're 45, 19, and 9. Last 10 games, they're 7, 2, and 1. They've won 5 in a row. At home, they're 22, 8, and 7. Chris Tanev. Yes, I want to talk about Chris Tanev because he's played every game. 5 goals, 19 assists, 24 points. He has been fantastic. Great shutdown defenseman. And I really wish Vancouver still had him. I honestly think if the Canucks still had Tanev, they might find themselves above the playoff line because of what he's able to do defensively. And Vancouver was kind of a mess defensively. So I'm glad Calgary enjoys Chris Tanev, Jacob Markstrom, and the former Canucks galore that they've picked up. And I wish him all the best. He's had a really good year. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start time between Arizona and Vancouver. Vancouver's won both meetings, both of them by a score of 5-1 on February 8th and on April 7th. So we'll see how things go tonight. Arizona's 22, 46, and 5. Over their last 10, they're 2-7 and 1. They've lost 4 in a row in regulation. Away from home, they're 12, 21, and 4. On the Vancouver side, they're 36, 28, and 10. The last 10 games, they're 6-2 and 2. They've won 4 in a row. And at home, they're 16, 14, and 6. I didn't actually put anybody under that game highlight. So for Arizona, I would probably go with Gostisbehere, who's continued to have a remarkable turnaround. Surprised he's still there, to be honest. I figured they were going to, juice up his value and then trade him. But he's been useful for them, so I get why they'd hold on to him. And his contract's not bad as long as he's producing. And on the Vancouver side, I would say the fact that Bo Horvat's been producing goals at an incredible rate over the last 6 weeks has kind of flown under the radar in a league where we're talking about goal scorers every day. Horvat's not usually one of the guys we're talking about. So, yeah, here's to hoping Horvat can keep things going. Vancouver, of course, has to win to stay in the race. There you go. Let me know your picks in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.